states. That's going to mean a lot of travel here in the next 5 months or so. People lining up for the Donald Trump event here in Fresno, California. It's only 6 o'clock in the morning, and some of them have been here already for a couple of hours. Donald Trump will get on his plane to come up here from Los Angeles in about 3 hours' time. We're expecting there may be some protests at this rally. However, there have been admonishments and editorials in the local Fresno Bee encouraging people to keep it peaceful, saying keep it cool, to score points, and don't give in or don't tolerate at least the violent punks. Since he went past the 1237 mark, Donald Trump now making a full pivot to the general election. He's taking on Hillary Clinton with even more vigor than he has been in the past. Yesterday, at a press conference in Bismarck, North Dakota, Donald Trump hammering Hillary Clinton for her email server and running afoul of the State Department, at least according to that Inspector General's report. Here's what Donald Trump said yesterday.
This was all bad judgment. Probably illegal. We'll have to find out what the FBI says about it. It's devastating. And there's no reason for it. It's just, skirting on the edge all the time. And you look back at her history, and this is her history. It's a very, very harsh report.
Donald Trump also tried to sideline Hillary Clinton here in California by throwing down the gauntlet to Bernie Sanders to say, hey, let's debate. Yesterday in that press conference, Donald Trump said that the Sanders campaign and his campaign have actually been talking to each other about the possibility of it. And Martha, both Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders seem eager to meet each other. Trump insisting, though, it be a charity event for some $10 to $15 million for charities that are associated with women's issues. So they've still got a couple of weeks, not quite a couple of weeks, a week and a half. We'll see if they can put it together.
Yeah, we'll see. He also pushed back against President Obama, speaking about him in Japan, saying that he was rattling world leaders. How did that go?
Yeah, Martha, you remember yesterday at the G7 summit in Japan, President Obama said that world leaders were rattled by the prospect of Donald Trump becoming president, that Donald Trump was ill-informed. He was more interested in headlines and tweets than he was in doing what's best for the country. Well, yesterday at that press conference in Bismarck, I put the question to Donald Trump and asked him if he wanted to respond to President Obama.
When you rattle someone, that's good, because many of the world, as you know, many of the countries in our world, a beautiful world, have been absolutely abusing us and taking advantage of us. So if they're rattled in a friendly way, we're going to have great relationships with these countries. But if they're rattled in a friendly way, that's a good thing.
And Donald Trump also appearing to completely make peace with Senator Marco Rubio. Rubio saying yesterday that he is going to go to the convention. He will release his delegates and he will speak on Donald Trump's behalf. Donald Trump tweeting out yesterday that Marco Rubio should run for his Senate seat again in November, that they really need to win that Senate seat in Florida, and he's the best one to do it. Talk of a Veep maybe to come next. We'll see, Martha.
We will
do
see.
seem to like each other now.
Very interesting how that comes around. Thanks a lot, John.
Let's analyze this now with Fox News digital politics editor Chris Darwin. How are you, sir? Good morning to you. On the same day, or same week rather, President Obama, Hillary Clinton used the word rattle. So now you start to see a theme, Chris. How do you see that?
Well, the language about Trump, the Democrats are being careful not to portray him as risky in the sense that risk connotes upside. Instead, what they're focusing on is danger, 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 danger. And you will hear the danger theme over and over again, especially since Hillary Clinton has such substantial negatives and she has these problems. Her goal is to disqualify Trump, and that's what she's going to keep trying to do. And I'm sure the president will be helpful to her every way he can in that regard.
I think he's itching to get in this thing. I think you'd agree with that. Let's pull up the map. 15 states in play. That's the argument Trump is making. Is he right? Here's the map from 4 years ago.
Well, so in some, obviously, he's right in the sense that he will have to fight in Ohio. He will have to fight in Florida. He'd have to fight in Virginia. Without those states, you don't see a path. Unless, of course, then the next tranche of states that he has mentioned, both yesterday and in an interview earlier with the Associated Press, where he talked about Minnesota, he talked about Michigan, he talked about northern white states or overwhelmingly majority white states where his coalition, which is dominated by white males, can do particularly well. He's mentioned Maine and other places. These fall into states that have been, especially Pennsylvania, that have been tantalizingly close for Republicans in the past, and they have believed that if they could get sort of the hard hat vote, blue-collar Reagan Democrats to come into their column, they could win them. They haven't won them since at least 1992, and in some cases, in a couple cases, 1972. But they've been close enough that they want it. And then Trump says California and New York. That's just some stuff people say. But remember, for Trump, it doesn't matter because he's not spending money. He's not doing organization. The Republican National Committee is. These are just places he's going to have rallies.
But you pointed out before, though, that the map looks similar to what Republicans have faced in the past. But
sure.
then you go on to argue that he needs to focus relentlessly on liberal voters. Now, what's the logic?
The logic here is this: he's put back together. You witness Marco Rubio, who will now says he will speak on Trump's behalf. He is Trump positive now. A guy he called a con man before. Now he's in, and so the Republican coalition has come together. It won't be as good of a coalition among Republicans as it was for Mitt Romney or John McCain. So he needs to accept the fact that he's going to come up short in that regard, and now relentlessly, aggressively go find liberal voters. Go find voters on the other side. Focus on stuff like his opposition to free trade. Focus on things like being anti-intervention on the world stage. Focus on those that get out of NATO and those other things. Find white dudes wherever white dudes may be they in Minnesota, be they liberal, be they wherever, be they Bernie bros. They must be with Trump for him to get the job
All the
done.
white dudes. Thank you, sir.
All the white dudes.
Thank you, Chris. Have a good weekend. Chris Starwell there in D.C. Good analysis. Martha.
So, big story today about the 180 at the RNC and the way that they thought this race would look in 2016 and how it's turned out. So, is Trump right about throwing out the playbook for winning, as you all were just discussing? We're going to get more into that when we're joined by the RNC Communications Director and Chief Strategist Sean Spicer in the next hour. I mean, you were talking about how, it ends up always looking essentially the same in terms of the electoral votes in the states that matter. But this whole thing has not looked like anything we've really seen before. Right? So, you have to wonder. We're going to talk to Sean about
I think a lot of these Republican leaders, they're either in or they're out or they're right on the fence. I mean, to watch them gauge their commitment daily is fascinating.
And Paul Ryan's still on that fence,
right,
which is fascinating to watch too. All right, so President Obama became the first sitting U.S. president to visit Hiroshima since the U.S. dropped an atomic bomb on that city 70 years ago. President Obama paid his respects to those who perished there. Leland Vittert is live at the White House this morning with us. The moment we were all waiting for, Leland. How did it go, and what did the president have to say there?
Well, depending on who you are and what you think of the president's visit, you can make your own decision on how it went. The big question was, would he apologize for the use of the atomic bomb? And he did not use the words, "I apologize" for Harry Truman's decision back in 1945 to drop the bombs that ended World War II. But critics will tell you his message was just the same. President Obama, the first sitting U.S. president to visit Hiroshima, where 140,000 people died on that fateful day in August.
We stand here in the middle of this city and force ourselves to imagine the moment the bomb fell. We force ourselves to feel the dread of children confused by what they see. We listen to a silent cry.
Now, in the past, the president has envisioned a world without nuclear weapons. He spoke on that theme today, saying we need the courage to see beyond the logic of fear. Noteworthy, Martha, he did not talk all that much about the courage of the American GIs who died to end World War II.
All right, Leland, thank you very much.
So 10 minutes past the hour now, terrifying accident in the sky. A pair of Navy fighter jets collide midair. Details on this dramatic rescue of all four pilots. Plus this today.
We are going up against a candidate who will say anything, do anything to take us backwards on every issue and value we care about. The last thing we need is a bully in the White House.
Expect to hear a lot more of that as Hillary Clinton warms up her attacks against Donald Trump, saying that he is running a, quote, fantasy campaign. But with the nomination still not clinched, is she focusing on the wrong opponent?
Also, the fallout from Clinton's server scandal, why she's doubling down on her defense. The man who wrote the book, Clinton Cash, Peter Schweizer, I guessed on that next.
It's shocking to see it. It's shocking to see what she did. And really, more than anything else, it's bad judgment. But that's going to be up to her whether or not she wants to continue running.
After more than 4,000 years, It's your moment to reserve your place in history. The voyage begins again, July 7th.
Put some distance between you and temptation with Meta Appetite Control, clinically proven to help reduce hunger between meals. New from Metamucil, the #1 doctor-recommended brand.
Here comes number 1 and Steel Dealer Days. Steel Dealer Days. With the #1 selling brand of outdoor power equipment in America, like top-rated trimmers and easy-to-use steel blowers.
Remember, Steel products are only sold by servicing dealers.
Steel Dealer Days. Search STIHL or visit steeldealers.com.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, Jim, that'll be $462. How would you like to pay for that?
Really? And Medicare won't cover any of it.
I'm sorry, I'm afraid not.
If you're without coverage or soon will be, you should give us a call. Physicians Mutual Insurance Company has affordable dental insurance to help pay for the care you need. Look, even a simple checkup can cost over $100, and other services like root canals or bridges can cost you hundreds more. But for as little as $1 a day, we can help cover more than 300 procedures. Things like cleanings, fillings, crowns, even dentures. Plus, you can see any dentist you want. There are no networks, no deductibles, and no annual maximum. Call this number now for a free information kit with all the details about this affordable dental insurance. Don't get caught without the coverage you need. Take control of your dental health. Call now.
When they told me that I had cancer, I felt like I got hit by a train. I did.
First thing he thought of was, hey, how am I going to take care of my family? I did come across Cancer Treatment Centers of America, and I said, oh, this place sounds awesome.
When I got to Cancer Treatment Centers of America, I got a great oncologist, also a naturopath, a nutritionist. They all worked together as a team to come up with a treatment plan designed specifically for me.
Wayne was experiencing a lot of fatigue, so I was able to help him handle treatment a lot better and just helping to improve his overall quality of life.
I knew I was in good hands. It was that simple.
If you or someone you love has complex or advanced stage cancer, visit cancercenter.com to view our treatment results and a list of insurance plans we've worked with.
I got a new outlook on life.
Cancer Treatment Centers of America. Care that never quits. Appointments available now.
Wet Willie is what they called him on the street. Rogue hoses, raved in juicy llamas. Soaked his pants waist to feet. Duluth Dry on the Fly pants saved the day. All that water got wicked right away. He goes by Bill today. Duluth Dry on the Fly pants. Unwet your pants. Get a pair. Only at DuluthTrading.com.
41 Secret Service agents have now been disciplined for digging into confidential records at the agency, including the files of Congressman Jason Chaffetz. The Utah Republican chairs the House Oversight Committee, which has been investigating scandals at the agency, and among the leaked files are Chaffetz's failed job application with the Secret Service. Homeland Security Secretary Jay Johnson says Secret Service Director Joseph Clancy was not involved in this incident. The employee who leaked Chaffetz's job application has resigned.
I thought it was allowed. I knew past secretaries of state used personal email. Secretary Kerry did for a period of time until the rules were clarified. They were not a model of clarity, and it seems like there's still more work to do on that. So, yes, I believed it was allowed, but that's not the point. I said it was a mistake. And furthermore, Wolf, I have provided the department with all of the work-related emails that I had.
So she is with a public strong defense in the wake of this damaging report on the use of her private server. Hillary Clinton doing interviews this week saying everyone did it. With me now, Peter Schweizer, author of the book Clinton Cash, executive producer of the documentary film with the same name. And Peter, welcome back here and good morning to you in Florida. Louis Lukens has given his deposition. Who is he? What did he do at the State Department?
Well, Mr. Lukens is a longtime State Department employee. I think the reporting is he's been there since 1989, and he deals with technical matters and assisting the Secretary of State. And according to his testimony, he had conversations with Secretary Clinton and senior aides, and this whole issue of she wanted to have emails for, she said, personal issues related to family. He offered to set up a laptop computer for her to do that for separate accounting, and was told that no, she didn't want that. It wouldn't be convenient, that she didn't know how to operate a laptop or a computer. And he said that he assumed that the email situation was set up so that she could have a private email for personal reasons. We now know that, of course, a lot of official State Department business went through that server as well.
Oh, so he tried to set up a laptop, did not happen. Gave her a BlackBerry, I do believe, right? You've read through.
That's right.
You read through his deposition. What did it tell you, Peter?
Well, it tells you lots of things. I mean, here's the problem. The Clinton story keeps changing, and it just doesn't make sense. I mean, one of the points that they've made repeatedly is they did this for convenience purposes, that she wanted to use the BlackBerry for convenient purposes. She wanted to merge these accounts for the sake of convenience. But as Mr. Lukens points out in his deposition, because of the way security is handled at the State Department, and that you have these purposeful dead zones where BlackBerries can't be used, Secretary Clinton, when she was in her office, actually had to leave the office and go out into a hallway to send and receive emails. That certainly is not convenient. So again and again, consistently, they shifted the story, and I think it's just going to continue to get worse as the circle tightens further on the Clintons.
Why would that be, Peter? You've listened to her defense this week. Why do you say that?
Well, I think because the defense has changed and the explanations simply don't make sense. Look,
so the bottom line is shifting.
Yes, the story is shifting. And also keep in mind, she deleted more emails than she kept. And their claim has been that the emails they deleted were simply private and personal. So they're trying to argue that she actually sent more private and personal emails than she did on official business. There are gaps in the emails that have been released. We now know, for example, despite the claim she just made on the tape you made and elsewhere, that they turned over all the professional emails she had. We now know that there were emails from General Petraeus, that there were emails from others that Judicial Watch has turned up, that she never turned over, that were personal. So as we get further into the details, the problem gets more difficult for her.
She is, Lukens is the first of 6 to be deposed.
That's right.
Cheryl Mills is today. What is the expectation for how this unravels from here?
Yeah, I expect the Cheryl Mills deposition to be more contentious. She is not only was chief of staff when Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, she has also been a personal attorney for the Clintons. You may remember that she actually invoked attorney-client privilege at previous discussions on this matter. I think that what is happening with these depositions that Judicial Watch is doing, it's going to continue to tighten, and it's going to be harder for them to make the arguments and offer the rationale that they have in the past, that this was either an innocent mistake or that there's no big deal here.
Okay, we haven't had you on since the State Department report came out 2 days ago. How and where has this story moved, do you believe, since the release of that report?
Well, it's gone from kind of a, he said, she said type of scenario where you have two alternative explanations. You now have the State Department itself coming out and saying that she violated these rules, which is really, as Charles Krauthammer and others have pointed out, is really violating the law, and that it was done so intentionally, that this was done with design. So, this is no longer a dispute about what might happen and what the significance of this is. You now have the agency at the State Department saying, no, this was a problem, and you had rules that were consistently broken by Secretary Clinton.
All right. Peter Schweizer, thank you for your time. More to come on this, and we'll get more analysis, too, as it continues. Thank you, sir, in Tallahassee today.
Incredible new footage of a deadly shooting that was caught on camera. A rapper opening fire. Look at this. Unbelievable scene that unfolded at a concert here. He was set to perform. What prompted him to pull that trigger, and who got caught in the crossfire when we come back.
Also, big travel weekend, airport security wait times setting record highs, just as this season gets underway, can the TSA turn things around for the traveling public?
This program is brought to you by the Jaguar Innovation Lab. Plan your escape.
Being British, it's not in our nature to boast. Fortunately, we don't have to. Introducing the critically acclaimed Jaguar XE. Experience the XE for yourself at your Jaguar retailer.
What if the human body could be trained to find you?
And you. Because the human body is stronger than anyone thinks.
What is immunotherapy?
Boosting the immune system by stimulating white blood cells.
It's unique.
Personalized.
An individual.
Just like me. So believe the immune system can fight back. Because cancer.
You think no one can beat you.
But at MD Anderson,
we're doing one thing.
and one thing only. Making cancer history.
The following memories are brought to you by Prevagen. Your memories make you who you are, and now your ability to recall short-term details could actually improve with age. The breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain, allowing you to stay as sharp as possible, because you've got a lot of great memories to make. Powered by an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish, Prevagen is clinically shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, the name to remember.
What Super Polygrip does for me is it keeps the food out. Before, those little pieces would get in between my dentures and my gum, and it was uncomfortable.
Just a few dabs is clinically proven to seal out more food particles.
Super Polygrip is part of my life now.
If you're a homeowner, you need to know about Home Advisor. It's a totally free service that connects you with top-rated home pros. You can even compare prices and book an appointment right online. So start your next project at homeadvisor.com.
Coming soon from Progressive, it's Saving You, the new hit single from the Discounts. The Discounts. Safe driver, paperless, paid in full, multi-car, and Joey Fatone.
We have Auto-Tune, right?
That's a hit!
Yeah! In the summertime, when the weather is fine, you can just ride the into the sky. When it's vacation time, you got MSC Cruises on your mind. Have a drink, relax, you're gonna have a good time.
Cruise the Caribbean on MSC Cruises. Take a 7-night all-inclusive cruise for only $7.99 per person. That's unlimited drinks, meals, entertainment, Wi-Fi, and a tour excursion. Call your travel agent now or visit msccruises.com.
This was murder backstage at a concert venue here in New York City, minutes before he was taking stage. A rapper known as Troy Ave was set to perform, allegedly firing at least 5 shots during a feud with another rapper. There you see the bullets fire. The shooting sending people ducking for cover, running out of that venue. 30-year-old Ronald McFadder, a longtime friend of the rapper, died at the hospital. 2 others inside that venue were injured as well.
Get ready, folks. Airports across the country bracing for the busy summer travel season, kicking off this Memorial Day weekend, and the TSA is already struggling to keep up with travel demands. We've been covering this story for the past 2 weeks and the problems they've been having, but the head of the agency says he believes that they are ready for the challenge.
Clearly, the summer travel season is going to be busy, and in the short term, TSA, airlines, airports, Congress, and travelers working together can improve the passenger experience while we maintain security that we need.
Mike Tobin is at one of the very busiest airports in the country, O'Hare in Chicago. How's it going there so far, Mike?
Well, Martha, if you're expecting that alarming alarming image of the security line snaking out the door, not that bad right now. It was a little bit bad this morning, but right now we're at a lull in traffic. And I want to go down here to answer the question if you do any better by getting your TSA pre-check certification and going through the TSA pre-check line. Of course, to do that, You got to pay your $85. You got to get online. You got to make an appointment. And then, of course, you have to show up at your appointment, which for me is the hardest part of the whole program there. The cause for the backups are really, it's an all-of-the-above kind of answer. A lot of more people are carrying these wheelie carts on board the airlines because they don't want to check. They don't trust the airlines. They don't want to pay their $25 fee each time they fly. Now we're arriving here at the TSA pre-check line. So in answer to your question, if you do any better by going through and getting your TSA pre-check certification, frankly, it looks a little bit longer than the standard line. And if you look just past that, that's the priority line. We have to fly a lot, get your points to qualify for priority. That looks to be the slowest of the three of them right now. So everything you thought you knew in terms of getting through the line faster, at least with this visual at this point in time and while people are traveling, it's not really any faster. Now, in terms of all the points you get from a reporter as far as speeding things up, arrive at the airport early, don't carry bottled water, and of course, don't carry a weapon. But if you were carrying a weapon through security at an airport, you got bigger problems than waiting in line. Martha?
I'm with you, Mike. I've gotten to the same point. I've gone online, I fill everything out, I make the appointment, and then the day comes and work gets in the way, something else gets in the way. I can't seem to get myself there for the interview. And I've also noticed when I go to the airport that sometimes at my closest airport at Newark, they don't even have a pre-check line. They're not doing it. And sometimes the line is just as long. So has the TSA said anything special about how they're trying to handle this right now?
Well, what they're doing nationwide is they're adding some 768 screeners. They're going to concentrate them in the busy cities like New York, like Chicago, like Atlanta. Here in Chicago, some 150 employees have been converted from part-time to full-time. They have approved the use of overtime. Now, here is the TSA administrator, Peter Neffinger.
Focus on security, revised alarm resolution procedures, made investments in new technology, and have retrained the entire workforce. We are holding ourselves accountable to high standards of performance. I've also directed several leadership and operational changes at the national, regional, and airport levels.
Now, some of the airlines are pitching in to do their part, particularly Delta Airlines is freeing up some of their staff to do the things that you don't have to be certified for, things like moving around the bins just to speed up the lines here. Martha?
Got it. Mike, thank you very much.
A jailbreak in this city, isn't it, Martha? On Memorial Weekend, boom.
Have to get out of here today.
Hillary Clinton saying the possibility of a Donald Trump presidency is dangerous.
The only thing standing between Donald Trump and the Oval Office is all of us. And I mean all of us.
The likely Democratic nominee unloading on Trump, saying she's ready for whatever he throws at her. But should she be worried about Bernie Sanders at the moment?
Meanwhile, Sanders himself responding to talk about a possible debate between him and Donald Trump. What would that look like?
I've already brought one Democrat and one Republican together, you and Donald Trump. I really feel like I can continue this in Congress.
You mean you're a bipartisan kind of guy?
Yes, I can build bridges. I don't build walls, I build bridges.
Some things are simply impossible to ignore. The strikingly designed Lexus NX Turbo and Hybrid, the SUV that dares to go beyond utility. This is the pursuit of perfection.
Olay Regenerist renews from within, plumping surface cells for a dramatic transformation without the need for fillers. Your concert team might show your age. Your skin never will. Olay Regenerist. Olay, ageless. And try Regenerist Microsculpting Eye Swirl. It instantly hydrates to plump and lift.
The sun used to make our outdoor deck and patio space so hot and uncomfortable, we couldn't use it.
But then we discovered the Sunsetter retractable awning. Our Sunsetter retractable awning opens and closes in just 60 seconds. It keeps our patio about 20 degrees cooler.
It provides instant shade and instant protection from the sun's harmful rays.
And our Sunsetter costs under $700.
But now you can get your Sunsetter for as little as $499 when you call now to get this special $200 discount certificate.
We love our Sunsetter retractable awning, and you're going to love yours too.
Call now for this free awning idea kit packed with great awning solutions. Plus, get this $200 discount certificate that will bring you your sunsetter for as little as $499.
But this is a limited time offer. Call now.
Sunsetter retractable awnings are assembled in America and are guaranteed to last for years. And talk about extras, you can choose from motorized awnings for push-button opening and closing.
Hundreds of thousands of families own and love their Sunsetter retractable awnings. We're one of them, and you should be too.
Stay cooler.
And do it all at $200 off if you call now.
Call now for your free awning idea kit with local dealer info and $200 discount certificate. Life is better under a Sunsetter. Call now and save.
1-800-771-3988. Got muscle and joint pains? Who wants to take them on with the 1-2 punch of nature and science?
Ow.
Get Zim's Max Freeze. Zim's Max Freeze contains naturally based pain-relieving ingredients combined with the power of proven science. Zim's Max Freeze fights pain right where it hurts. All in favor of Zim's Max Freeze? Oz have it. Take on pain with the 1-2 punch of nature and science with Zim's Max Freeze.
Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton unloading on Donald Trump, her likely opponent. She says that she is ready for his, quote, fantasy campaign, while also saying that she believes he's unfit to serve as president of the United States. Here's all that.
The best way to reassure ourselves and the rest of the world is to make sure that Donald Trump, this loose cannon, never gets close to the White House. We know a lot about Donald Trump. He roots for himself, not for you. He wants a good result for himself. He doesn't care who gets hurt in the process. That is not the kind of person who should be the President of the United States of America.
I'm ready for his fantasy campaign and the outrageous things he's going to say.
Fantasy campaign. Juan Williams, co-host of The Five and Fox News political analyst, and Kristen Soltis Anderson is a Republican pollster and columnist for the Washington Examiner. Welcome to both of you. Good to see you this morning here. I thought it was interesting that she used that, you can feel the sort of coined phrases that are coming together as part of this. The loose cannon thing, you hear a lot already. We're going to hear a lot more of that. And then she called it a fantasy campaign, which immediately reminded me of something that Bill Clinton said when she was running against President Obama, and we all know how that worked out. He called it this. Watch.
There's no difference in your voting record and Hillary's ever since. Give me a break. This whole thing is the biggest fairy tale I've ever seen.
Fairy tale, it's a fantasy, but you know how that one worked out, Juan.
I don't think there's any question. And what's interesting here is that we're seeing the formation of the message for the campaign, and the message is clearly that they think Donald Trump is a reality TV star, and that's what boosted him, but they're going to say that's the negative, the downside of that, high-profile, high-name ID for Donald Trump is going to be portrayed to the American people as someone who is not worthy of the office. And as you point out, Martha, this is a theme they've used before. It didn't work before. I think it was more in the idea that, it's a dream, it's a fantasy, a first-term senator from Illinois, a black man is going to win the presidency, defeat a Republican candidate. Didn't work out there. Can it work with Donald Trump, who really was a reality TV star?
Yeah, it's interesting when you look at the things she's using here, Kristen. He's a loose cannon, he's dangerous, and he doesn't care about you. He only cares about himself. I mean, it's pretty easy, given what we've covered this week and the email server scandal and all of that, that you can picture Donald Trump turning that right on his head and saying, really? Who do you care about?
She's trying to turn two of Donald Trump's strengths with voters against him. Remember, after the Paris attacks, Donald Trump went up in the polls. There was a thought maybe voters will say, we don't need a reality TV star in this moment of great, global concern. And instead people said, well, I think Donald Trump projects strength. And so his poll numbers went up. They're trying to turn that strength into dangerousness. But for a lot of voters, I think the Clinton campaign may find out that people think Donald Trump's unpredictability is a feature, not a bug. Similarly, with this argument about the economics, Clinton is trying to make Trump not seem like a change agent. She's trying to make Trump seem like he's more of the same, that he's not looking out for the little guy. And that message that I am looking out for the little guy has been a big part of Trump's success so far.
It definitely has. If there's somebody who has articulated the battle against Donald Trump in a way that has been somewhat effective, and it's also gotten his attention because he's going right after her on Twitter as well, it's Elizabeth Warren. Let's look at this.
What kind of a man does that? I'll tell you exactly what kind of a man does that. It is a man who cares about no one but himself. A small, insecure money grubber who doesn't care who gets hurt so long as he makes a profit off it.
It's amazing to see the transformation of Elizabeth Warren, Juan. I mean, she used to be this, sort of numbers cruncher, wonkish, going against Wall Street. I am amazed that she has gotten into the Twitter mud with Donald Trump, and they're slinging at each other big time. What do you think she wants? What's her goal?
Well, first of all, Martha, there we have it. Elizabeth Warren unplugged. No more Harvard academic, proper senator from Massachusetts. She is unleashed, unplugged, and going after him in a way that apparently is getting under Mr. Trump's skin, because now he's responding, calling her names, Pocahontas and all the rest, and calling her goofy. So this is on the level of reality TV, but she responds with a passion that I don't think we see from Hillary Clinton. So it's intriguing. Possibly a VP pick. What do you think, Martha?
I mean, I think she's keeping her powder dry, Kristen, because she also says things. She hasn't endorsed her. She's the only Democratic female senator who has not endorsed Hillary Clinton. And she also says things like, well, we have to work out our nomination process here on the Democratic side.
Well, she's respecting Sanders, because her base is Sanders' base.
But I mean, if Sanders is able to close this gap in California, and let's put up the numbers, it's a big gap right now. There's one poll that shows him very close. But is there a scenario here, Kristen, for a contested convention or an Elizabeth Warren element here?
It's very hard to imagine that it goes all the way to a contested convention, but it is remarkable that Donald Trump has wrapped up the nomination process on the Republican side before Hillary Clinton has done it on the Democratic side. And at this point, the sort of economic vision that Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren espouse, the sort of far-left, socialist light kind of view, is going to make its way at a minimum into the Democratic Party's platform. They have pulled the party far to the left. That Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders perhaps represent the soul of the party, even if they are ultimately not, collecting enough delegates for Bernie Sanders to be the nominee.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's sort of the Paul Ryan, I said the other night, of the Democratic side, because she's keeping her powder dry. She's not ready to commit herself. She's someone who Democrats see as very principled, and she gets the crowd going to no doubt. Juan, do you think, though, that she would be, I'll throw the question back at you, because there's a lot of reasons to think that she might be a very formidable vice presidential candidate with Hillary Clinton. Do you think Hillary Clinton would ask her?
Yeah, Hillary Clinton has said that she's open to the idea of having two women on the ticket. And I think, there's some people, Amy Klobuchar, the senator from Minnesota, but also when you think about Elizabeth Warren, you got to again come back to that Bernie Sanders populist base. Kristen was saying, these people are more focused on the economic argument and even to the socialist point. But that's the power at the moment in the Democratic Party. That's what animates people. That's what gets people turned out, in addition to being anti-Trump.
And I think Donald Trump's worried about that. I think that's why he's going after her big time. Thank you very much to both of you. Have a great weekend. Good to see you.
You too. Bye-bye.
You made it possible for us to have a very interesting debate.
That's right.
About two guys who look at the world very, very differently.
Oh boy, do you guys look at it differently. That would be some debate. I mean, I really think it might be one of the highest rated events in television history.
Well, I think the goal would be to have it in some big stadium here in California.
Yeah, well, the state, that would be great. Have you heard from any of the networks? Has anyone contacted you?
Yeah, your network did.
ABC has contacted. They did.
Yeah, your boss contacted us. And
Which one, Bob Iger?
He said you're fired.
Funny line at the end. I'd watch. Bernie Sanders keeping an open mind on that debate proposed with Trump. Sanders appearing last night on Jimmy Kimmel. Trump was on that show the night before, saying that he would face off against Sanders if the two can raise money for charity in the process. Hillary Clinton has turned down another debate with her Democratic rival before the contest in California, June 7th. LA Coliseum, what seating capacity? 90,000? Probably 100,000.
Can you imagine?
Boom.
It would be like
Saturday night.
It would be like a soccer match, a football matchup in England, where you have to divide both sides with a little wall in the stadium to make sure that everybody kept it safe in there. We'll see. I'd watch too. All right. Will they do it? Who knows? In the meantime, a Navy training drill takes a scary turn, forcing rescue crews to spring into action. Details from the dramatic operation coming up.
Also, the State Department praising the progress made against ISIS. But how real is that progress when we find out where the terror group is now gaining ground?
We believe there has been a decrease in the number of foreign fighters traveling to the conflict, yes.
So you think there's a decrease in the number of foreign fighters?
Yes.
Everything your family touches sticks with them. Make sure the germs they bring home don't stick around. Use Clorox disinfecting products, because no one kills germs better than Clorox.
Think fixing your windshield is a big hassle? Not with SafeLight. This family needed their windshield replaced, but their daughter's heart was set on going to the zoo. So guess what? I met them at the zoo. Service that fits your schedule. That's another SafeLight advantage.
SafeLight repair, SafeLight replace. Incredible bladder protection from Always Discreet that lets you move like you mean it. Now comes with an incredible promise. The Always Discreet double your money back guarantee. Always Discreet is for bladder leaks, and it's drier than Poise. Try it. We're so confident you'll love it, we'll give you double your money back if you don't. Incredible bladder protection. Double your money back guarantee. That's Always Discreet.
Oh, I'm not a security guard. I'm a security monitor. I only notify people if there's a robbery. There's a robbery.
Why monitor a problem if you don't fix it? That's why free credit monitoring isn't enough to protect you from identity theft. At LifeLock, we not only alert you to identity threats. If you have a problem, we'll spend up to $1 million on lawyers and experts who work to fix it. LifeLock. Join starting at $9.99 a month.
As women, we carry it here, and I especially carried it here. Don't you hate it? And then it happened. It went from here to here, thanks to Nutrisystem.
Introducing the all-new Turbo 10. Lose up to 10 pounds in your first month, plus 5 inches overall. Lose weight fast, have more energy, and get healthy. You'll love it. Money back guaranteed.
I'm Marie, and I lost 50 pounds with Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day plan right now. With Turbo 10, you'll get delicious meals and 1 week of our all-new Turbo Shakes free. Packed with protein plus probiotics to support digestive health and plus belly bloat. Plus 1 week of our all-new NutriCrush Shakes free. Call the next 4 minutes and we'll rush Turbo 10 today. With 14 free shakes plus free shipping. Lose up to 10 pounds in your first month plus 5 inches overall.
Pick up the phone and call Nutrisystem today.
Call 888-773-SIZE right now and get the all-new Turbo 10 with 14 shakes free.
Once again, we've bent the rules. The all-new Civic Coupe from Honda.
So the Coast Guard saying that 4 U.S. Navy pilots have been rescued off the coast of North Carolina after a pair of fighter jets collided in midair. A commercial fishing boat pulled 2 of the pilots out of the water, while a Coast Guard helicopter hoisted up the other 2. The jets were conducting a training mission at the time. All 4 pilots, which is great news, have sustained only minor injuries. Wow, that could have ended very differently. Good news.
So you would disagree with me this morning. You think we are turning the tide. You think there are fewer foreign fighters coming into the Middle East and therefore less of a risk to the United States.
I think that there has been a decrease in foreign fighter entry into the Syria-Iraq conflict, but there's been an increase in other places, Libya as an example. There are other places that ISIL does continue to attract new adherents, new followers. They continue, as you pointed out, to associate themselves with existing insurgencies, and that is a problem. It's not something that's localized in Iraq and Syria.
Wow, so there's the State Department claiming it's making progress against ISIS, admitting, though, that it is growing elsewhere. Here to talk about all this, Senator Ron Johnson, Republican of Wisconsin, chairman of the Senate Homeland Security Committee, and welcome back here, sir. Nice to see you in person. Progress or not, is it real?
Well, it depends on where you're looking at. Within Iraq, yeah, we're regaining territory. But as the State Department spokesman said, they're metastasizing. It's a cancer. They're gaining strength in Libya. They've set up operations in Afghanistan. You have these other Islamic terror groups that are, basically becoming affiliated with ISIS. So it's a growing and it's a very real threat.
Have you been able to pinpoint why Iraq and Syria is no longer a draw for these fighters, if indeed that's true?
Well, we have done a better job at shutting down the flow of foreign fighters. So we have been putting pressure on them, and we have been gaining back some territory. But, Bill, it's been 20 months since President Obama declared our goal, which is to degrade and defeat ISIS. 20 months. And how long did it take us to defeat Nazi Germany? It took us about 4 years. We're almost in 2 years. And, again, we're nibbling around the edges. We're making some progress in that theater of war. But Islamic terror has, again, it's been metastasizing. It's a growing and a very real threat.
So then, look at the new front then, and that is the country of Libya. Jack Keane told us 2 weeks ago there are 7,000 ISIS fighters in that country now.
Yeah, nobody knows the exact number, but it's a growing threat. In these failed states, certainly is just a breeding ground for additional terrorists. And so we've got to take this seriously. What we need is a committed coalition of the willing of the civilized world, and we have to be tenacious. We cannot let up. We've got to defeat not only ISIS in Iraq and Syria, but wherever Islamic terror resides.
I've got an article from 2 months ago, March of this year. Senator Johnson, U.S. not taking ISIS seriously enough. Were you convinced in that hearing this week that that's changed?
No. Listen, we're making some progress in that area, but again, it's metastasized, it's growing, and we certainly haven't secured our border. I take a look at the overall threats in terms of potentially ISIS operatives coming to the U.S., through the refugee program, or through the visa waiver program. My biggest concern is coming through our porous southern border. There's a term they use, SIAs, Special Interest Aliens. These are individuals from Somalia and Pakistan and Syria. They're getting picked up in Central America.
You came into this hearing with 3 questions, and all 3 of them pertain to that issue.
Right.
How we keep folks here at home safe. And the answers you got are what?
Inconclusive. We're making some progress, but I don't think we have the intelligence gathering capability. We're not doing a good job at capturing and detaining and getting that human intelligence, because President Obama wants to shut down Guantanamo. What we should be doing is capturing and detaining terrorists, questioning them over a long period of time to get the human intelligence that we're going to need to defeat Islamic terror. But we've got to have a long-term commitment to this.
There's a campaign component to all this, and you talked about the southern border. Would a wall make a difference?
In certain places, absolutely. Walls prevent illegal immigration, no doubt about it, but we have to eliminate the incentive for illegal immigration. From my standpoint, we need a functioning guest worker program, but we have all kinds of incentives in our law. We have to end those incentives.
I know you have not gone on board the Trump train, but you would support him then on that idea.
Yeah, we need to concentrate in the areas of agreement, growing our economy, strengthening our military, defeating ISIS, securing our border. These are the large issues that face this nation. I totally support his goals there.
All right, every Republican's giving the same question on this too. Will you endorse him?
I will support those goals, and that's, listen, no 2 people agree on everything 100%, so you look at those big issues, and on those big issues, we're in agreement.
Okay, I'm going to put you down for a maybe then, okay?
I'll support those goals.
All right, Senator, thank you. Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. Thank
you.
Have
a great day.
All right. Martha.
There's a dangerous superbug that is showing up in America for the first time. Why the head of the CDC says that it could mean the end of the road for antibiotics.
Also, did sloppy communication put counterterrorism operations at risk? Why a former State Department advisor is speaking out about the Hillary Clinton email and server controversy.
You don't let anything keep you sidelined. That's why you drink Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals. For the strength and energy to get back to doing what you love. Ensure, always be you.
Wait, you can't put it in like that. You have to rinse it first.
That's baked on alcohol.
Big dog is never gonna work.
Dish issues? Cascade Platinum powers through your toughest stuck on food, so let your dishwasher be the dishwasher.
See, told you it would work.
Cascade.
Before earning enough cash back from Bank of America to buy a new gym bag,
before earning 1% cash back everywhere, every time, and 2% back at the grocery store, even before he got 3% back on gas. Kenny used his Bank AmeriCard Cash Rewards credit card to join the Wednesday Night League because he loves to play hoops, not jump through them. That's the excitement of rewarding connections. Apply online or at a Bank of America near you.
Fox News dominates social media with more engaged fans than any network, more than twice the cable news competition. In 2016, make your voice heard with Fox News Channel.
Did you know that banks may be liable for $500 to $1,500 per call for calling your cell phone after you told them to stop? We've helped thousands of consumers get money for this kind of cell phone harassment. The law prohibits banks from robo-dialing consumers without consent, and we make them pay. If you're getting unwanted calls, you can get $500 to $1,500 per call. Call 800-330-8500. There's no fee unless we win. 800-330-8500.
Itchy, scratchy, desert dry, teary, trashy, crusty, sty, sticky, burning, makes you cry. You rub and rub and rub your eye.
Like plaque in our teeth, our eyelids also develop a biofilm that is the underlying cause of most blepharitis and dry eye disease. Ask your doctor if a BlephX treatment might be right for you. To find a doctor near you, go to curemydryeyes.com. That's curemydryeyes.com.
We broke up.
We broke up.
We broke up.
With online dating.
If online dating is turning you off, we'll turn you on to a smarter way of dating. Introducing It's Just Lunch, the world's #1 personalized matchmaking service for professional singles.
Instead of spending hours and hours online, it made it fun for me because professionals are doing the work for me.
Our matchmakers do what no website can. We get to know you and personally hand select your matches.
Getting to know my clients is the most important part of what we do and why we're so successful.
It's almost like a friend calling you and saying, hey, I have this perfect girl for you. And that's exactly what I got in Jesselyn.
It's Just Lunch guarantees you will go out on dates, and we'll handle all the details, from scheduling your date to confirming the reservation. Whether it's just lunch or drinks after work, we're bringing a more successful way of dating to the table. Call us today and find out what our professional matchmakers can do for you. Leave nothing to chance and everything to It's Just Lunch. Researchers announcing that a long-dreaded superbug has appeared in the United States for the first time ever. And in a disturbing development, the head of the CDC says that its arrival could spell the end of antibiotics. Pretty stunning stuff. Laura Ingle is live in our New York City newsroom on this. So what are they saying about all this, Laura? What does it mean?
Yeah, hi, Martha. Well, it is what doctors across the United States have been dreading for years, that a bacteria would emerge that they wouldn't be able to fight, even with what they call the antibiotic of last resort. So yesterday, health officials said a 49-year-old woman in Pennsylvania is the first reported case with an antibiotic-resistant strain of E. coli. So the woman went to a clinic with symptoms of a urinary tract infection, and the bacteria was found in her urine. The patient reported no travel history in the last 5 months, making this case all the more concerning.
We know now that the more we look, the more we're going to find. And the more we look at drug resistance, the more concerned we are. We need to do a very comprehensive job protecting antibiotics so that we can have them and our children can have them. We need to make new antibiotics, but unless we have better stewardship and better identification of outbreaks, we will lose these miracle drugs.
And colistin is what we're talking about here. It's known as the last resort antibiotic. It's used for treating particularly dangerous types of superbugs, which essentially means this new strain of bacteria is unstoppable. Martha.
Wow. So this is the first case in the U.S., but there have been reports of this elsewhere, right?
Yeah, public health officials were alerted in November last year of cases in China, which created grave concern within the worldwide health community when Chinese and British researchers reported finding the colistin-resistant strain in pigs, raw pork meat, and in a small number of people in China. It was later discovered in Europe and Canada as well. So now Pennsylvania's Governor Tom Wolf is releasing a statement which reads in part, "We are taking the emergence of this resistance gene very seriously, and we will take necessary actions to prevent MCR1, that's what it's called, from becoming a widespread problem with potentially serious consequences. The safety of Pennsylvania is our utmost priority." The CDC says it will continue to work with the state health department in PA with this first U.S. case to to see how the woman may have been affected. Martha.
Scary stuff. Laura, thank you.
So Hillary Clinton doubling down on her defense despite a scathing investigation about her server. What she is saying about that now.
But as Republicans coalesce around Donald Trump, they are now joining in on the crooked Hillary attacks that Trump created. Fox News Sunday anchor Chris Wallace up next.
As I say, crooked Hillary, crooked Hillary. She's as crooked as they come.
Seems Lady Susan will finally visit.
That woman's a fiend.
The New York Times calls Love and Friendship howlingly funny.
She has an uncanny understanding of men.
A triumph raised the Los Angeles Times.
He's vastly rich, rather simple.
Churchill, that's how you say it. I'd heard church and hill, but couldn't find either. All I could see was this house.
Jane Austen has never been funnier. One of the best films of the year.
You promised that you would give up all contact with this woman.
It's a mistake you made marrying Mr. Johnson. May his next gouty attack be a severe one.
Love and Friendship, rated PG, now playing.
I had memory foams, I had feather pillows, and I'd always wake up with neck pain. After sleeping on my pillow, I didn't wake up with the headaches, I was more aligned.
I didn't realize the connection between the pillow and sleep. When I switched to my pillow, I got a better night's sleep, and I love it.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of My Pillow. My patented fill adjusts to your exact individual needs, and it holds that support all night long to take the pressure off your shoulders and keep your neck aligned so you get the best night's sleep of your life.
My Pillow is the official pillow of the National Sleep Foundation. My Pillow is machine washable and dryable and comes with a 60-day money-back guarantee and an amazing 10-year warranty. Plus, every My Pillow is made in the USA.
I personally guarantee that My Pillow will be the most comfortable pillow you'll ever own. Go to mypillow.com or call now to order one of My Pillows. When you do, I'll give you a second one absolutely free.
For the best night's sleep in the whole wide world, visit mypillow.com.
Duncan just protected his family with a $500,000 life insurance policy. How much do you think it cost him? $100 a month? $75? $50? Actually, Duncan got his $500,000 policy for under $27 a month, less than $1 a day. His secret? SelectQuote. In just minutes, a SelectQuote agent will comparison shop nearly a dozen highly rated life insurance companies and give you a choice of your 5 best rates. Duncan's wife, Cassie, got a $350,000 policy for under $13 a month. Give your family the security it needs at a price you can afford. Since 1985, SelectQuote has saved over 1 million families millions of dollars on life insurance. Call now or go to SelectQuote.com. Discover what over 1 million families know. We shop, you save.
Introducing the most advanced high-performance sports sock from Copperfit. Cushion footbed for impact support. Compression for impact support. Compression arch for custom fit and maximum performance. Copper-infused wicking fabric for ultimate anti-odor protection. Reinforced heel and toe for tough durability. Dig, grind, fly. The most comfortable performance sock you will ever wear from Copperfit. Available now at these fine stores.
Hillary Clinton doubling down and pushing back on an Inspector General report saying that she broke the rules by using her personal email for government business. Clinton repeating her claims that she did nothing wrong. Welcome, everybody, to a brand new hour of America's Newsroom. I'm Martha McCallum.
That makes me Bill Hemmer. Good morning. Clinton instead deflecting blame in part back onto the Department of State, saying she did not know what the rules were, and more or less it was not her fault.
Well, this report makes clear that personal email use was the practice under other secretaries of state, and the rules were not clarified until after I had left. But as I've said many times, it was still a mistake. If I could go back, I'd do it differently. And I understand people have concerns about this, but I hope voters look at the full picture of everything that I've done and the full threat posed by a Donald Trump presidency. And if they do, I have faith in the American people.
So there you have that there. Peter Doocy now live in D.C. Peter, good morning. Do we expect more from Hillary Clinton about the server? Will she say something perhaps today or not?
Bill, she's not mentioning it at her rallies. And Clinton actually said yesterday she thinks that she's already gone into enough detail about the thought process behind setting up that server.
I testified for 11 hours before
the committee, the Benghazi committee. I have answered numerous questions. We have posted information on our website, and the information that we had is out there. It's been clearly public.
Clinton also continues devoting most of her energy to Donald Trump, who she refers to now as a loose cannon. She does not really attack Bernie Sanders, instead talking of joining with him to unite the Democratic Party. Until that uniting happens, though, Clinton says she needs some more money. A campaign email this morning told supporters that her donations are down since April.
There's a lot of commotion about a debate between Sanders and Donald Trump. Is that going anywhere, Peter?
Now we've got Sanders and Trump both saying that they want to do it. Sanders adds that Clinton backed out of a California debate, so he thinks that this is going to be his one crack at it. And now they may have some help setting up a debate because a prominent boxing promoter has stepped up. He says that he will set everything up. Bob Arum is quoted in USA Today as saying that it would be the biggest pay-per-view of all time. I'm not going to charge crazy prices. I'll take a fee, and I'll put a guarantee up, and it'll be for charity. Trump obviously said that he wants to do it if it's going to raise at least $10 million for charity. And in California, Bernie Sanders thinks that he has got momentum on his side. He thinks that by primary day, he will have spoken to at least 200,000 supporters at his rallies.
They can raise $100 million. I mean, let's get ready to rumble. Peter, thank you. In this corner, Peter Doocy. Thank you, Seth.
Picturing the boxing ring and the shorts. All right, so the RNC is slowly beginning to rally around the party's presumptive nominee. There are lots of signs of that. In fact, they're borrowing one of Donald Trump's favorite nicknames for Hillary Clinton, and they've used it in the latest RNC web ad. So they're saying, we give in, we surrender, we're going with Crooked Hillary. Here's a clip.
The laws and regulations in effect when I was Secretary of State allowed me to use my email for work. That is undisputed.
No evidence she had requested or received approval to use her personal account for official business.
And you said it was allowed to.
Yes, it was.
But who allowed it?
It was allowed under the rules of the State Department. And again...
So nobody signed off on that?
No.
Chris Wallace joins us now, the anchor of Fox News Sunday. Chris, good morning. Good to have you back. Good to see you. Good morning. Talk to me a little bit about the fact that the RNC is now embracing or giving in, one or the other, the sort of name-calling practices of Donald Trump. In that ad, the RNC calls her Crooked Hillary.
Yeah, you know what's so devastating about that ad? It's all true. Usually there's a certain amount of license in political attack ads, one side attacking the other. But in this one, they've used Hillary Clinton's own words, and they use either the actual words from the Inspector General's report or newspaper accounts, as you can see there from the New York Times and other legitimate reporters. There's no kind of political spin here. It's her words and then the refutation that came out of the Inspector General. And as they point out at the end of that ad, this was her own State Department that she ran for 4 years, and a Democratic Obama-appointed Inspector General. So what's really damaging about this is it's all factual.
I know, you know, it's uncanny in many ways how Donald Trump has come up with these sort of monikers for the people that are his opponents, and in time after time, they've sort of stepped in and tried it on and it's fit them perfectly in one way or the other along the course of this campaign, at least in the minds of voters. Who knows whether it will work for him in the general election? It's a whole different ball game now as you look at that. But when you look at the facts here of what we learned this week about Hillary Clinton's situation, how damaging is it in her campaign?
Well, you know, I keep asking myself that, and the answer is we don't know until we see polls. Obviously, it bolsters the argument that she was not forthcoming and that she did something wrong with the emails. And obviously, she's already taken a heavy hit on that when you look at her honesty and trustworthy numbers, which are heavily underwater. Whether it's going to change more minds or not, I don't know. But again, I think the most damaging thing is not the new facts. It's the source. It's the fact that it came from an Inspector General appointed by Barack Obama in the department that she ran for 4 years, and the investigation was ordered by her successor, the Democratic Secretary of State, John Kerry. So in that sense, it's damaging because This isn't coming from a Republican committee. It isn't coming from the Benghazi committee, and Democrats or independents can dismiss it and just say, well, this is partisan warfare. This is as independent, or if anything, pro-Clinton a source as one could have, and they're still finding fault with her. Whether it's going to affect her, I don't know, because you got to figure that people that were upset by the emails were already upset, and people that weren't upset weren't going to be persuaded by new information. But to the degree that it gives Republicans something to talk about, that it blunts the attacks on Trump, and Lord knows he's a target-rich environment as well, it certainly keeps Hillary Clinton on defense. And remember, it was just this week that she was trying to make a big deal about the fact that Trump back in 2006 was quoted as saying that he kind of hoped that the housing bubble would burst because he could make a lot of money at it. And it seemed like a somewhat damaging line of attack. Well, that's just gone. We forget about that now because we're all talking about this.
Yeah, it's the effective counterpunch again from Donald Trump in turning that around, and he embraced that statement. He said, that's what I should do as a real estate executive, is to try to buy things at the bottom. We'll see if that reemerges and is effective at all. What about this debate, the Bernie Sanders-Donald Trump debate talk? What do you make of it?
Well, I got to say that you and Bill I'm having great trouble concentrating on this because the image that one of you presented of Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump in boxing shorts in a ring and with gloves on. It's something I'm going to have to try to get out of my mind, and it's going to take some time. But I don't know. It certainly makes sense from Sanders' point of view.
Yeah.
He's behind. It makes him look like he's willing to stand up and debate and defend the Democratic Party's ideals when Hillary Clinton was unwilling to debate him. I'm not quite as sure from Trump's point of view, but Trump never met a big event or a huge crowd that he wasn't attracted to, and he was very clever in saying, let's make it about women's health and women's charities. Obviously, one of his concerns is that he's deeply underwater when it comes to women's issues, the gender gap, and for him, if he's able to raise $10 or $15 million for women's health issues, that kind of would help him in that area.
Yeah.
It also, I have to say, it would be must-see TV.
We would
as long
watch.
As they don't wear boxing shorts.
Exactly. It's the boxing short. I'm picturing the robe. I'm trying to think of, the little phrase that each one of them gets. They're basically two guys from New York, so it would be fun to see them do that. Chris, thank you very much. It's good to see you, sir. Welcome back. Don't miss Chris on Fox News Sunday this weekend. Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski will be on the program with him. Plus, Senator James Lankford and Congressman Adam Schiff will react to the Hillary Clinton email scandal that we were just talking about. Did she put national security at risk? That's going to be the big question for the DOJ. That is the essential question behind all of this. And that is coming up Sunday on Fox News Channel. And check your local listings. Don't miss it. We never do.
We will be there. 41 Secret Service agents facing disciplinary action after they dug around for dirt on a congressman. The punishment stemming from a report from the DHS Inspector General, that's Department of Homeland Security, that found agents went through the personnel files of Congressman Jason Chaffetz. Doug McElway is on that story out of Washington. Doug, good morning. What prompted all this in the first place? Where did it start?
Well, Bill, it appears to be a simple case of underhanded payback by members of the Secret Service who were just unhappy with Representative Chaffetz because he had been investigating a series of problems at the agency, from the Cartagena prostitution scandal to a string of security lapses at the White House and beyond. An IG report found that dozens of individuals within the Secret Service improperly accessed, on some 60 different occasions, the personal records of Chaffetz when he applied and was rejected for a job in the Secret Service years ago, before he was a congressman. The information they uncovered was then leaked to the press. The matter was referred to the Department of Justice for potential criminal prosecution, but DOJ declined to prosecute. Now, Jay Johnson, the Secretary of Homeland Security, has taken action himself. He reviewed the conduct of 57 Secret Service personnel, including 11 senior executives. 41 are being disciplined, the punishment ranging from a letter of reprimand to some being suspended without pay for up to 45 days. And the person who leaked the Chaffetz application to the Washington Post has resigned. Johnson found no reason to punish either the director of the Secret Service or the deputy director, Bill.
Well, how did we first learn that agents had been looking around Chaffetz files?
It all came from the Inspector General's investigation. The IG found that the Secret Service staffers improperly breached Chaffetz records only 18 minutes after a hearing in which Chaffetz attacked the service for its lapses in performance. Chaffetz responded to Johnson's disciplinary measures by saying, quote, "It shouldn't have happened, and it should not happen again.
Amen to that. Thank you, Doug McKelway in Washington. Thank you, Doug.
Yep.
Donald Trump giving a bit of a preview of his strategy for the general election, including how he could win. He says 15 battleground states or compete in them. What states is he talking about? We'll talk to RNC Communications Director Sean Spicer.
Looking forward to that. Also, airline passengers forced out of the terminal into the parking garage. The threat that sparked evacuations at a major American airport.
And the State Department says Hillary Clinton's use of private email servers is a lesson learned, but at what cost? Ambassador John Bolton's here to weigh in.
This is, I hate to say it, but it's a learning experience. We have learned important lessons.
Save at the Men's Warehouse Memorial Day sale. Buy one, get one free on most sport coats, dress slacks, dress shirts, and sportswear. Plus, all designer jeans are 2 for $100. And select designer suits are $249.99. Men's Warehouse. Rise to the occasion.
Looking for a home service pro you know you can trust? For over 15 years, homeowners have trusted HomeAdvisor to find only the best home pros and do a thorough background check. So start every job at HomeAdvisor.
Hi, I'm Dana Lash from The Dana Show, and I want to tell you about this performance-enhancing veggie. It promotes circulation and stamina without the crash of fake energy drinks. Super Beets is a circulation superfood, and I drink it every single day. Now, don't worry, it does not taste like dirt. Super Beets has a mild berry flavor. It's effective and it's convenient. Just 1 teaspoon equals the dietary nitrate equivalent of 3 whole beets. And here's the secret. Super Beets are light dried, so the dietary nitrates are protected, and that's why you feel results fast. It's great for healthy blood pressure too. You'll feel the difference in your energy in as little as 20 minutes, like I do. That's guaranteed. Get a bonus 30-day supply free with your first order. Plus, get the book Beat the Odds free just for ordering Super Beets TV special today and free shipping too. It's guaranteed, or you're going to get your money back. You'll love it.
Would you like the security of a 30-year fixed refi with our lowest payment possible? And an interest rate so low our lawyers won't let us say it on TV? Make the cash call at 855-890-CASH and see how much an interest rate starting under 3% will cut your monthly payment while still lowering your loan balance. All with no closing costs. That's right, no closing costs. None. That's 855-890-CASH. 855-890-CASH.
I asked my dentist if an electric toothbrush was going to clean better than a manual. He said sure, but don't get just any one. Get one inspired by dentists. With a round brush head.
Go pro with Oral-B. Oral-B's rounded brush head cups your teeth to break up plaque and rotates to sweep it away. And Oral-B delivers a clinically proven superior clean versus Sonicare Diamond Clean.
My mouth feels super clean.
Oral-B. Know you're getting a superior clean.
I'm never going back to a manual brush.